Well, we know right from the beginning that spiritualists claim to believe in Jesus, one of the spirits that lived on after death. But more recently, you may have heard of the term the New Age movement. And that's what I'd like to begin our talk with here at this time. If you look at the screen, you'll see an entire library of blue books. These books were written by one author, one of the most prolific authors in history. Her name was Alice Bailey. And in the early part of this century, her and her husband Foster Bailey broke from the Theosophical Society and started a new society. This society is the first one that used the term the New Age. The Baileys set up a number of research centers, and one of those was in Ojai, California. And from there, there's a press that sends these teachings out all over. Now, if you look at the picture on the screen, you'll see some of the titles of the subjects that Bailey worked on. The Destiny of Nations, the Reappearance of the Christ, the Externalization of the Hierarchy. Every one of them is prophecy concerning how the spirit world, the occult world, would rise and take over the world. The entire world would be united in one great mass initiation into a next level of evolution, as they taught, into a spirit realm, an advanced period of time. And Jesus Christ, or the Spirit of the Christ, was considered to be the one who would lead us into this movement. The picture on the screen now is the door to their chapel or worship room or meditation room in Ojai, California. And I want you to notice some things about this door. As you look at the animals that are on it, you'll notice that they're signs of the zodiac. All the signs are on that door. This has its base in astrology worship, which originated in Babylon. And then if you look above that, you'll see O's and V's. Well, what significance does that have? The occult worship the serpent. And on the back of the cobra is where the O and the V and the U and the S, sacred symbols in the occult that represent the number 6 and its power. These people are virtually worshiping the ancient system of serpent or devil worship that came from the plains of Shinar. And they don't know it. It's all dressed up in a modern garb, a scientific garb. As I walked into the chapel, I noticed in the middle of the floor, and you can see it in this picture, crystals. They believe that energy from nature will be attracted through the crystals and then congregate around the area where the crystals are, and those who come to meditate in the room, like the gentleman that's on the screen right now, will be able to unite with nature better. Now, if you look at the wall on the far side, there's a picture there. It's a picture of Jesus, as it could be seen in the picture right now. On the left side of the room was a picture of the Christ. And on the right side of the room was a picture of the Buddha. These people worship the pagan gods, and they're uniting it with Christianity. The next picture is a picture of a man by the name of Benjamin Creme. Benjamin Creme was caught up in following the flying saucer movement, which teaches precisely the same system of mental exercises and communications with the other world, in this case, the other worlds out there. When he began to study the New Age teachings, he saw it was the same system, but in this system, the ones on the other side of the grave were spiritual masters or advanced people and beings that live in the hollow earth. In fact, Mary Besant, the leader of the Theosophical Society, told her that she was directed by the spirits that lived in the kingdom of Shambhala, the same place that Hitler was trying to find, and that she was directed to go to England and begin a movement in behalf of the indigenous Indians to regain their government for themselves. It was this movement, Theosophy, that got a hold of a man by the name of Gandhi and moved him into a prominent position. Now back to this picture of Creme. Creme then joined the New Age movement. He claimed that the Christ would come and that his name is Maitreya, the Buddhist name for the coming one, the loving one that's coming. He claimed that this Maitreya would fulfill all of the prophecies of all of the religions around the world, and took $200,000 of his own money and purchased full-page advertisements in the pages of the newspapers of the world. Even now, these people still claim that this man is simply waiting, a Pakistani man in London is waiting for the time when he is to go forward and manifest the Spirit of Christ before the world and lead them into this next age. Benjamin Crane wrote this book that's on the screen, The Reappearance of the Christ and the Masters of Wisdom, the Spirit World. The picture that I'm showing you is the World University of America. It's one of hundreds, if not thousands, of institutions in America and around the world that are presenting the idea that all religions are really one religion. When one looks behind the symbolism of all these religions, they believe you find the one universal religion. And when I went to this place, I was curious to talk to the person who was in charge, and it was a fairly pleasant lady. She had a number of doctorate degrees in comparative religion and philosophy and theology, and she was a very, very capable woman. And as we began to talk, and I mentioned Jesus, she says, we teach that Jesus was an important person here. And I talked about Lucifer. Yes, she knew what Lucifer was. And I said, now, you know that Lucifer fell from heaven. And she said, he never fell from heaven. Lucifer never fell. And she completely lost her composure. She says Christianity is a bloody religion, a terrible religion, a religion of hate. And there she exposed who her real God was. They believe that Lucifer never fell and that Jesus is the evil God. And many of her students will never know that. They tell folks that this is non-sectarian, but in fact it's a tremendous movement to establish Lucifer as the God of this world. The picture on the screen now is the chapel where the people come to get their instruction and their meditation. And it has the same symbol that is found on your dollar bill that was designed by the devil-worshipping Jewish Catholic priest, doctorate of canon law, Adam Weishaupt, who established the system of the Illuminati, or Luciferian conspiracy to take over the world. It's all working together. The kings, or the spirits of demons, are going forth to the rulers of the world to gather them together today. Now, the New Age teaches that the sun passes through 12 houses in its own cycle of its own zodiac. They claim that this cycle of going through one phase or one house of the zodiac takes place every 2,000 years. The picture on the screen right now represents the last period of 2,000 years. They say that that was the period of Christianity. And the picture shows two fish swimming in the opposite direction, one upside down from the other, tied together, and they believe that it was a period of bloodshed, violence, and confusion, although they believed that the Spirit of the Christ wanted to teach love and wanted to teach the social gospel. Now they teach that the new avatar would arise and the Spirit of Christ would come into him at the beginning of the next age, or the Aquarian age, symbolized by one pouring water out, symbolizing this a period of rising above and a period of occult supremacy. The picture on the screen now is the picture of the New Age Christ. If you look at the eyes, those eyes look exactly like the eyes of Charlie Manson, one who's still serving a life sentence for the brutal murder of a number of people. And the face is radiant because it's supposed to display that the Christ possesses this man, and his effulgence goes out to the world, guiding man into this new age. It'll be Satan personating Christ in a last great effort to deceive the world. And scientists, men with intelligent minds, men who we look up to, teachers, educators that have turned aside from the Bible because of Satan's delusions and followed the teachings of evolution and atheism, even in this grand country that was established upon Christianity, are laying a foundation for deceiving the world by research into what they call psychic phenomena. Millions of dollars are spent in this country and millions around the world to investigate the phenomenon of spiritualism today. And of course, there's no way of going into some of these areas in a short talk like this, but scientists